The PTSD Foundation. Thank everybody for being here to show your support. I actually sort of represent that 68 Impala that you guys may or may not have seen downstairs with Pat Tillman's murals all over it. Pat and I grew up together, played football against each other in Northern California. Pat was a hero of mine in high school, and he signed a full ride to ASU. I went to some small school in New Hampshire, nobody heard of, and 4 years later, both of us were drafted by the Cardinals, one pick apart from each other. He was my hero in high school, he was my hero in college, and then next thing I know, I'm going from New Hampshire to Scottsdale and getting to play with my hero for the Cardinals. My very first purchase, my rookie year, because my father served in the Army, his most prized possession was his 64 Impala before he passed away. My very first purchase with my signing bonus was a 68 Chevy Impala. I went down to Tucson, found it off the 2 hours off the highway in some mine. Some dude was selling it for like $3 grand. I went down there, I fell in love with it, I bought it, I drove it back to Scottsdale, sort of renovated it. I don't know shit about cars, excuse my French. I just like the look of it, and obviously with the history of my pops. And Pat, we all know Pat, I think his first purchase was after he made about $5 million playing the NFL. He bought a used Volvo in his 5th year, so it didn't really resonate with him, but the story did. So when I bought the car, Pat and I spent most of our time either in training camp, practice locally, Flagstaff, staying here at the Buttes the night before a game. Pat and I were roommates for 5 years. Had a lot of good memories with that car. It was in my garage for a number of years. Now I got 2 kids. The cool factor is not as cool anymore. It doesn't have a top on it, so it's hot out here. You can't really, roll it around like you used to. And some gentleman from Texas, who's a former, he served in Vietnam, he called me through a couple other people, said, I've heard the story. I want to restore that car. I want to make it great, and I want to be able to auction this thing off at the Barrett-Jackson auction sometime down the road, once everybody gets a chance to see it, hear the story, appreciate it. This guy put so much money in this thing out of the goodness of his heart, his charity. He hooked it up with, he's a car buyer, and so he has a lot of contacts in the car business, the paint, the motor, everything. It is in pristine condition. Now it is the Pat Tillman theme car, and our goal in the next year, 2 years, is to bring this thing across the country, get eyeballs on it, get some support from it, and either this year or the following year, we're going to auction off at Barrett-Jackson. Proceeds are going to go to the Tillman Foundation, a couple other foundations. But there was a Jeep that was sold for about $2 million this past year that doesn't even have the type of local story that Pat Tillman has. So we're expecting big things from it. We're hoping it's going to sell for big numbers. So I just want to thank you guys for letting us also come here and join. We're all here for one reason, right? It was to support. So thank you guys for being here and listening to the story. I think we're